Good morning and welcome to the channel, everybody. So what's today's plan? Today we are going to take the BMW E30 325i Sport to Tegiwa Motorsport for a power run on their MAHA Dyno. We're going to find out how much horsepower the E30 still has left out of that M20 B25 engine. As this is a later generation car with lower compression, I think the factory horsepower would be around 166 horsepower. So we're going to find out how much horsepower it's lost basically. I'm hoping the car's still around 150. It does feel maybe a little underpowered, but this is an AC model, so it's carrying a bit extra weight, and of course, like modern cars, they've become so fast. I mean, our little Alpine is like got twice the horsepower and weighs even less and has a fancy pants automatic gearbox. So yeah, it's may actually be running the correct amount of horsepower, but I actually want to find out. I'm hoping the car's about 150. If it is, I'm going to be happy at that. I'm going to leave it. If the car comes back at 120 horsepower, then I guess maybe we've got a bit of an issue. But yeah, I think the car feels 130 plus personally. It's just about how much more over 130 it actually is. So let's get on with it. I'm going to get in the car and I'm going to fire her up, and then the next time you see me will be at Tegiwa Motorsport. Thank you, and as always guys, please do like and subscribe to the channel. Yeah, need a key for these. Good old fashioned cars. There we go, central locking. Right, so we've arrived at Tegiwa. The E30 is going to be going for a power run. These guys mainly specialise in Japanese cars, but they have a MAHA Dyno. I think it's an MSR500 rear-wheel drive. So that's obviously going to prove very handy. Guys, might as well film yourself driving it here. Put the ignition in to start. Press that button on that fob once, the indicators will flash 3 or 4 times, and then press it again and that's the immobiliser disarmed. Yeah, not bad, thanks. I got the 2 Porsche Taycans plugged in. See if we can get past the immobiliser easily. I've given him the instructions. I like that, pro. Not such a pro. Not used to a manual gearbox. Right, well, Dyno. 50 cars in here. Got a rally spec Evo here. I think it's what the guys actually use for actual rallying. That's a full rally spec Mitsubishi Evo. Got two race spec Honda NSXs here, which Luke and Johnny racing. See them quite often at track days. Obviously they race professionally in these. So I don't think they're standard, but I think they have to comply with certain spec. If you're wondering why I'm moving around a bit different this time on camera, I actually have a gimbal, which obviously is to improve the viewing experience for you guys, but as this is my first video with it, I'm probably going to make a hash of it. Now anybody who thought GT3 RS had a big wing, I think these guys have just seriously leveled up on who's got the biggest wing out there. That's some serious wing. This is obviously a full-on time attack, like Honda NSX. But yeah, let's get back over to the BMW. So they're just obviously going to fasten the car down. Show all as well. It's a single contact patch MAHA dyno. So it should be quite accurate. Tell us how many horsepower we've probably lost. I'm going to guess, based on the way the car feels, I'm going to guess at 152 horsepower. That's my guess. I know it's not already ran, it's not fastened down yet, I'm not cheating. I would hope it'd be more, just from the way it feels. Alright, fella, smart. Right, we'll end the video there for now. Just thought we'd film some of the cars out here. So you've got the Tacans, obviously crazy fast electric cars. S2000, it's really nice. Got the Tegiwa, I think this is the Honda Civic rally car. But Luke's made a safe upgrade by upgrading to an Evo. Then you've got, I don't know which exactly type R this is, whether it's a UK one. I think it's a UK one on the plate, but obviously they're really, really good cars. Got the Tegiwa ACTV valve 660 real-time four-wheel drive. I remember Johnny getting this and putting it on Facebook. It's like a really miniaturized pickup truck. Yeah, it's a Honda four-wheel drive ACTV SDX. A manual. See why I bought it. That's really cool. And obviously they've got their own truck, so they race their own cars. Just filming your little pickup truck. I've got the full-on rally spec Evo. It's proper rally spec. It's got the proper mountings for the axle stands. Luke's latest toy. And they got some brand new rally wheels and tyres, and it's a Time Attack NSX. And more track going. So car's all fastened down. And that. These guys, oh yeah, of course, if you need tyres or anything, you know, these guys, they stock tons of track tyres. Yeah, we're all fastened down. and ready to be run on the dyno. I say it's a MAHA, it's a MSR500. I'm going to run it with the car on the 600 horsepower setting to B1 because that'll reduce the inertia to make it a bit easier for the car to run. It being an old car, obviously, with not a lot of horsepower. I don't want to really cause the car too much grief by putting a heavy load on it. And yeah, that's I'm thinking 152 horsepower. And we'll tune back in shortly and find out. So what they're doing now is just synchronising the engine rest to the dyno so that both match, so that then when it plots the graph, the plot is the same on the graph as the actual engine RPM. So I'm actually just film this bit. Anyone's interested in how these dynos work. Should probably be the more ideal gear to run in as long as the car's got enough power. And what he'll probably do now is try to get the car in fourth gear as soon as possible and then go full throttle from a low RPM. Very powerful fans powering up to keep the car cool. guess, I've literally been 1 horsepower. So I'm going to stop the filming there for now due to the noise in here. So I guessed at 152. Right, so the car's done 2 dyno runs, and this is the point of doing a 3rd one. On the 2nd run, it actually got really close to... I took a guess at 152 horsepower, and on the 2nd run it made 151.7 horsepower at the engine, 116 horsepower at the wheels, and nearly 150 foot-pounds of torque. We revved it to it's about 6,500 RPM, but peak power is just under 6,000. I'll show you the graph now. The graph is actually really nice, very linear power increase all the way up the ref range. Torque curve is very flat. So though that this car should be about 165-ish, 170 tops, the car is about 15 horsepower down, but it is 35 years old. And of course what we also need to take into account is the fact that, you know, tyres, ambient temperatures, everything. I've done everything possible to give the car its best chance. You know, I've done major servicing on the car, done spark plugs, valve timing. The valve timing is set quite tight, so I could probably go ever so slightly looser on the valve timing, which might generate a little bit more horsepower. But and I've also left the car on its factory setting for the AFM, so it's not running as rich as it could, which again may produce a little extra horsepower by richening the mixture by turning the AFM wheel, airflow meter wheel is what I mean by that. But the car drives incredibly nice in the factory setting with everything that I've done. It's silky smooth, it drives lovely from stone cold, and never has a problem no matter how warm it gets. So I think 35 years old, something to enjoy. I'm not really going to worry that the car could maybe be making another 10 to 15 horsepower. In fact, it's got the majority of its horsepower left. And yeah, all spot on. There's a reason we didn't do a 3rd run. It's because on the end of the 2nd run, when we hit the limiter, the car decided to pop its rear damper off the bush, and the gentleman here obviously sets all of these time attack cars up, so knows exactly what he's doing. There's the bush. Does it look knackered or?
No, it's fine. It's just pulled it out of the... Whoever fitted it didn't put a penny washer between the bush and the bolt.
Yeah, so there's a big washer that's supposed to go on the end of the bolt, which stops what's happening. The other side does have the washer in place. but this side doesn't. Now, this suspension wasn't fitted by ourselves, it was fitted maybe by the previous owner or even by an owner before him. That's the issue you get when you buy cars that have had several owners and have been tinkered with or had a lot of repair work in the past because of its age. But there's nothing better than a project. You can slowly work through it and you can spot and find these issues and fix them. Thankfully, it just needs a penny washer and it's one bolt, and thankfully it has done it here on the dyno and didn't do it maybe whilst I was getting a bit overzealous on the road, because losing the shock absorber, it wouldn't handle too nice on the road. Could even maybe be potentially dangerous. But as I say, these guys do all these time attack cars and rally cars, so it's a simple job, and they've got all the tools, so it's just reconnecting the damper up for me. Let me see if I can get in there and underneath. Ooh. You can see, maybe just quickly show you guys what we're on about here. So you can see the bottom of the damper is hanging out there, and what's happened is that there should be a big washer on the end of the bolt which stops and is like a backup mechanism to stop that from happening. If I go, you can just about make it out. The other side has the big washer in place. Obviously whoever fitted this one always had the suspension off at some point. Didn't refit the big penny washer, or it's never had one in. But, you know, come here, had a power run and we found a problem, and it's getting sorted. Big thanks to the guys at Tegiwa. It's Andy, isn't it? Big thanks to Andy. At least it stayed on the dyno. Oh, it was chained down, so it wasn't going to go anywhere, was it anyway? And it ain't got enough horsepower to try to break free. So yeah, happy with that. Over 150 horsepower. The car's done 137,000 miles now. I say I've done everything I can to it, servicing wise. There's no filter in the car that can't be changed. Every single fluid in the car has been changed. It's on new plugs. I've even done the injectors. So yeah, I've done everything that's serviceable apart from literally maybe changing the ECU or, you know, tearing the engine open and see what's wrong with it. But as the car runs sweet, practically never smokes. Sometimes you get a very small amount of blue smoke out the car when you drive it really hard. But hey, you know, for the mileage and its age, it's to be expected, I think. Car drives lovely. I say I guessed at 152. In a way, I was kind of hoping it was going to be 150 plus. If it had been 120, I would have been disappointed. But I think 150 is a great result. My book dyno must be very well calibrated to take a stab at 152 as the guess. Because there you go, you can see it there. Let me move closer. I'm not making this up. 151.7 horsepower at the engine. I say and there's the curve. The power curve is actually really nice on the car. It's making power all the way to 6,000 RPM in a perfectly linear fashion, and the torque curve is very flat. But you've got to give it, these old M20B engines, the B20 and the B25, were just silky smooth, and this car is still absolutely silky smooth. It drives lovely. So as always, massive thank you to everybody who's tuned in and watched this. So though she has lost some horses, it's not as bad as it could have been. And like I say, a different dyno could give us a reading of 160 plus or even 140 or less. Now, dynos are measurement tools. Though these MAHAs are typically quite accurate, but a dyno is always really a measurement tool for before and after. So now what's ideal if I do decide to do some modifications to my car, like say change the exhaust system and that, do some engine work, I could now come back here, they could pull up my old dyno run and run it again and literally be able to compare it. Compare the changes. But I'm quite happy with that. So as always, thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe.